Hello, Jen here with a layout for a brand new series that is starting today. It is Tuesday's Inspirations. We're just gonna start playing and having fun and creating projects and sharing the joy of creating and scrapbooking and looking for things all around us that inspire us and kind of keep us motivated. So there are 4 of us participating. There is Hollie, Lynda, Mel, and myself. We're kind of, spread out on opposite ends of the globe. So you're going to get some inspiration from all over the place. We all have different strengths that we can draw on. And so that is where this is going to be kind of fun and different. Where each week one of us will be the one in charge of the inspirational piece that will motivate the layout or project that we're all going to work on. And we can get it from just about anywhere. So whether it is a photograph that we've taken or a sketch that one of us creates, a mood board, maybe it's song lyrics or a quote, or it is maybe something that's happening in the world that, a big event of some kind that is motivating and inspiring the person whose week it is to want to create something, whatever it might be, wherever that inspiration comes from. That is what we're going to work with. So for the first week, Mel provided us with this beautiful shot of the sun kind of coming through the foliage of her trees. And my first instinct was I just really love the way that the oranges and the yellows from that sunlight kind of, trickle through almost like it's backlit, and then you've got the trees in the foreground. And so that's sort of where I was leading towards with my layout. And I'm really excited to see what the other ladies do too, because that's kind of the fun thing about having this piece that's going to inspire our layouts, but everybody will interpret it differently. And so you guys are also welcome to jump in and play along and use whatever the weekly inspiration piece is to create for yourselves too. And if you do that, please tag me, because I love to share the work that you guys do. So if you are on Instagram, go ahead and tag me, Kay's Mom Scrapbooking and Kay's Mom _scrapbooking. And I will do a shout out for you and share your project so that other people can see it. Of course, if you're okay with that, please don't feel like if you tag me, but don't want it to be shared, that I will override that. Just let me know. But I love to shout you guys out, and I love to show off all of your beautiful work. So if you do want to follow along, please do. Because we'd all love to see it. I bet we'd all be tickled pink to see, the inspiration that you guys are finding from each of the things. So I showed the picture at the beginning. So if you want to go back and pause, you can definitely grab that image and use that to inspire your project. It doesn't have to be a layout. You could do a card or whatever works for you. Maybe you're, scrapbooking a little mini album and you just want to do a smaller page or whatever it is. Anything that jumps out and inspires you, that is the project you're going to work on. If you have ideas and you want to leave them for me down below in the comments, I'd love to hear what kind of stood out to you with that picture. What did it make you think of? What did it kind of spark or inspire in you? Really, this is about giving you a jumping off point to just get that motivation going. I know for me personally, you haven't seen a lot from me. I feel like I've been burnt out. I definitely feel like I was working really, really hard, and I've been trying to grow my channel, and a little bit kind of like I was just constantly hitting a wall. And it gets kind of defeating. And so I just really needed to take a break and I haven't been creating videos as much. I've been doing a lot of scrapbooking and I've been working on projects, but I just haven't been pumping out the content and sharing it because I felt like I was really burnt out and needed a little bit of time. So that's where I've been. So this is kind of fun for me to jump back in and just, have a goal to work towards, trying to do 4 videos a month. I'm still in the community, so you can still find me all over. I'm still doing how to kill a kit with style, and I have my scrapbooking content creators group and that kind of stuff. And I'm doing scrapshot stuff. So I'm still here, but I definitely just needed a break, I think. And a little bit of me time to reassess my goals, because I felt like I have not really been hitting any of the goals that I was hoping for. Pity party for me, but we're going to move right past that. So let's see, what do I want to tell you about this layout? So I started with the background. I knew that I really wanted to bring out some sort of pop of especially the oranges and the yellows. So that's what I started with on that background paper. And I had a very rough idea that I wanted to use black cardstock to maybe make it look like trees or branches or something in the foreground that was sort of blocking out the color, so that I got that impression that you get in Mel's photo of the light, or in my case it's color, kind of shining through something. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to do straight lines, like if I wanted to go look for scraps of darker colored paper or cut my paper into really straight lines, because it's not in the picture, it's not like just really straight lines. It's a lot of leaves and foliage. And so I wanted a little bit more flow or movement to kind of give you that impression. I'm not trying to replicate trees with the sun shining behind it exactly, but more of just that feeling or that impression. And so I did take a piece of black cardstock and kind of started to rip it up. And I don't know, I was fussing around with it. I didn't really like how it was looking. It kind of gave me the feeling of like zebra print or something like that. It just didn't feel the way I was hoping for it to feel. So back to the drawing board, I took another piece of black cardstock. I folded it kind of accordion style. I intentionally folded it in a way where I knew it wasn't going to line up perfectly, because I feel like the movement of the trees isn't perfect. There's sort of some weight to it where the picture is slightly, weighted to the left-hand side a little bit more, and it's more dense on that side. And so I didn't want these perfect straight lines or anything like that. And so I kind of accordion folded it, and then I had this, vision of trying to cut something out. What I was really going for at the end of the day, I probably could have achieved by pulling out my Cricut and finding a cut file and cutting some sort of repetitive cut file, or finding maybe like birch tree cut file or something along those lines. But that was a little bit too much work for me, and I feel like in this moment it would have cut my motivation out completely to have to go and pull that out and try to find all of that. So what I decided to do instead was make these little slits, and then when I realized that, I could kind of cut it on 2 different sides, so I had different types of slits in the paper that would just let these little peekaboo holes with the color in the background. So I kind of did that, and then I was trying to figure out what I could do to maybe give a little bit of extra motion to it. And I always like to tear and rip things. I feel like the tearing method is unpredictable, and so it does give unique edges and some motion and some texture. And so I thought I'll go in between my little cutouts and tear some strips there. And then I do have that one side over to the right, and I thought this maybe will be a spot where I could do a border with the paper that I used as the matting paper. It's just repeating words. I thought maybe I could run a strip of that down the side or something along those lines. But I really wanted more solid black, because I feel like that's really what that picture kind of does for me, is the foreground is quite dense and the trees and everything are quite dense. And so even though they're not just one solid color, they're kind of more heavy and more dense. And then you see the sun kind of poking through the foliage. And so I felt like if I cut that black too much or had too many slits, then you kind of lose the denseness or that feeling. So rather than trying to maybe tear another strip or anything like that, I thought I'm just going to leave that wider strip and I'll do something with it. In the end, I kind of don't do anything with it, because when I started to pull out all of these embellishments, I realized I like the space. That kind of blank space is a spot for your eye to rest a little bit and not have all this information to take in. And that's really important when you're telling a story with your layout. It's important for your eye to be able to go around the whole page and take in all of those little details and all that work that you've put into your layout. And so you do want to have those little spaces that are kind of resting spots, whether it's resting spots by color or it's just literally empty space. However you kind of use that idea on your layout, and whatever works with your design is what works. But in this case, the empty space I felt like worked really good to give my eye a resting spot. So it gives you the chance to take in especially if you have a lot of words or writing or journaling, or you have a really detailed photo that has a lot going on. You don't want to sort of fatigue your eyes and fatigue your brain. You want to be able to take it all in. So that is my little landing strip. I'm going to call it my little resting space. And it was just a nice spot to put an embellishment cluster. So I've got my little embellishment triangle. I'm using Spellbinders Just Saying collection because it was out on my desk. And again, I'm working kind of with the parameters that enable me to stay motivated and get my work done and enjoy my experience. So I think for the rest of this year, you're probably going to see me using things that are around me, using stuff that I can easily grab. And I'm really working and behind all of those little cutouts that I did. So that is my layout. I got those supplies at Scrap Shots. I'll leave the links for that down below if you need to do a little bit of shopping and grab these supplies for yourself. Please check out the other ladies and their videos. Their links are also down below. And that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you again soon. Happy scrapping. Bye.